Hi. I'm just noticing that my YouTube is wrong. This is not co-working. I don't know why it went up like that. I'll fix it. But hello, welcome to Ask Me Anything. I'm Debbie Levitt. This is, let's see, let's fix this. I don't know why it says work or study and all that. So Ask Me Anything. We'll fix that later. Very, very strange. I thought that I pressed all the buttons and now I'm confused. But anyway, this is Ask Me Anything. I do it every Wednesday at 7 o'clock Italy time. Please note that we're going to change our clocks this weekend, so future ones might feel like they're at a weird time for you. Just please double check. And today we will be talking about whatever you want to talk about. This is your time for free mentoring, coaching, advice, whatever you want to call it. And, oh, I see. For some reason, everything got a fresh name except YouTube. So that is very strange. So thanks to my YouTube watching person. I will try to fix this headline now. Don't forget that you can ask your questions at dcx.to/Q. You can ask them here in the chat if you'd like. And don't forget to register for our conference in May 2025. The program was created specially for things that people said they really wish conferences would cover, especially UX conferences. So please, please check it out. Meanwhile, I'm going to go back and try to fix my topic here. There we go. Let's try that. Okay. So we did get, hi, Ana Lucia. We did get a question ahead of time, and I am going to work on answering that. So the question that came in ahead of time was someone wanted me to take a look at an article. It says, would love to hear your critical thinking analysis on this article. Okay, so I am going to put up the article, and I also notice I have a weird light behind me. Give me a second. Let's try that. It's still showing up a little. I think that's better. All right, let's try this. And I'm going to flip over. And this says, the real problem with research. Sorry about this little gray spot here. It's my green screen, not green screening enough. The real problem with research. And the subheading says, after 22 years in design, I think that the power of research is overrated, while other important aspects are overlooked. Yeah, I was going to say, anybody watching this live, feel free to tell me what you think of just the title and the subtitle while I turn on my other light. Did anybody else feel like right away this article undid itself? I mean, sure, we can certainly be open to non-researchers' opinions about research. Everybody's welcome to an opinion, but I'm not sure I would want a non-researcher to definitively try to say that research is overrated because they have experience in design. I would imagine that a designer wouldn't be happy if a career researcher wrote an article saying, hey, I've been a researcher for 20 years and you know what? Design's overrated. Definitely KB says the real problem with insert anything. Okay. Yeah, exactly. The real problem. I did not bother reading this article because normally I would stop there. I would normally feel like, you know what? I'm done. I'm done with this. I'm not interested in what this person has to say. I'm not sure this is going to be meaningful, actionable, or helpful. And so I usually feel pretty done. Let's see if I can, I'm trying to clean up some of my noise here. Let's see. Is that better? No, it's kind of the same. Sorry, trying to clean up that noise. How do I do it? Woo, woo. Okay, that's too much. Now I'm just a floating head. Don't be a floating head. It makes people sad. Okay, let's try that. Hopefully I'm not a floating head and there's less noise on the screen. So we can take a quick skim through this article, but usually I decide these things are not worth my time. And I think that's also an important conversation to have, because we could look at this article and we could say this article is good or it's bad or things like that. But I feel like when the article loses me in the title and or the subhead or sometimes the first few lines, give yourself permission to do something else with your time. So many of you are telling me either in our Discord community, don't forget to join, it's free, our Discord community, or in private messages or in other places, oh my gosh, I don't have enough time. I want to do more with my hobbies. I want to do more with my family, my pets. I wish I could write the book that's in my head. I wish I could do this. You know what? I wonder how much time you would buy back if you reduced the time that you spend reading articles like this, or reading Reddits and doom scrolling stuff. And you know, we talk about that in my Life After Tech book. How much time and energy could you get back if you started noticing what zaps your time and energy and started reducing that? Ana Lucia says, I Googled him. He's not a UXer. He's working as a lead designer with no previous experience in UX since 2017. Yeah, and what I've noticed is sometimes, I've seen this for many years, so this isn't new. Sometimes people who say, I've been a designer for X years. Some of that might be UX, especially more recently. Usually it goes back to brand design and graphic design and visual design, and they just say, hey, I've been doing design for X years. And you can't say that that's wrong, but it would be certainly more accurate for that person to say, I've been in UX for 5 years, and this is something I'm seeing. Ana Lucia says his profile is not consistent. He says he's 34 with 22 years of experience in digital products. How do you know he's 34? What did you find that says he's 34? This picture doesn't look like someone who's 34. I wonder if you just found something that's a little bit old. He has 17 followers. UX consulting, director and design lead with 22 years of experience working with digital agencies, products, and services. You found his portfolio. Maybe it's outdated. So let's see if we can figure out what the main point of this article is. And again, another thing that we can do if we'd like to save time is we could hypothetically copy and paste this into an AI or an LLM and ask it to tell us. But according to this person, since they're using a catchy headline, what is the main problem with research? I believe the main problem is that research shifts responsibility for decisions from designers to users. What? We shift responsibility for decisions from designers to users. We're asking users to make decisions? This article says we cover our asses with these studies instead of realizing a simple fact: we can't influence everything, and things are chaotic beyond Figma screens. So that really made no sense to me. I don't think that is a well-sustained argument. I don't think that would hold up in a debate club. I think that just doesn't make sense. So when I see things like this, I must say I am uninspired to continue reading the article. I can't think of a good reason to spend time reading these articles. Many of these articles are quite long. And so you can always, again, copy and paste these into an LLM. Oop, wrong one. I sent the entire darkness. Okay, there I am. Ana Lucia says, I can make decisions for Facebook then? Mark Zuckerberg banned bots. Yeah, a little bit strange. So let's see. Select all, copy, Claude, new chat. I found this article. What is this guy's main point? Paste. Okay, so now let me share my screen again now that I've got Claude working on that. Let's see, Claude says, based on my reading of the article, his main point is that the design industry overemphasizes and places too much faith in user research as the cornerstone of good design decisions. First of all, has anyone experienced that? Has anyone ever worked at a company, a startup, a team that was placing too much faith in user research? I've never seen this happen. Ana Lucia says, I have the feeling he's a designer who's butthurt about not being taken seriously and asked to do research. I would have said, I wonder if he's a designer who has had researchers find that his designs sometimes don't work and fail, and so this person wants to minimize the value of research. Always look for the hand the magician doesn't want you to watch. Claude says his core arguments include research often fails to deliver promised business outcomes even when metrics improve, conversion rates don't necessarily follow. Okay, but is that research's fault, or is it the problem of what people do with the research data? We don't know. Research shifts responsibility from designers to users, leading to safe but uninnovative solutions. This is another thing I find a lot that people tend to not sustain well, which is we're not innovative enough. And I have a hard time complaining about companies not being innovative enough when they're not even doing the basics well. We're not even doing the basics well. Our error messages make no sense. People can't log in. Stuff doesn't work the way we want it to. Usability sucks. We even have terms like enshittification to try to say how bad it's all become. I'm so less worried about innovation. Many factors outside a designer's control influence user behavior and business results. Okay. So I think that he's a challenging research first orthodoxy that's been dominant. He's painting with a broad brush. So I think it's way too broad. And I agree with Ana Lucia that there's something about it that is just like so burning stuff down kind of perspective that it's very hard to take seriously, especially since I don't resonate with any of the points like companies are relying too much on research. Really? Researchers are being laid off at alarming rates. They're not being hired back. The research is not taken seriously. Like, I don't know, if this guy is existing in a world in which research is taken quite seriously and it's the core of a lot of decisions, I'd like to live in that world. Please invite me into that world. Ana Lucia says, are researchers empowered to actually do their job, or do they only validate things? Yeah, at many companies, they validate things, and in fact in many cases they're told make sure you validate things and don't invalidate things. So we got another question, so let's get that question added to the list, and here we go. Let's copy and paste it on the screen. And again, if you have a question, my perspectives and answers and advice are totally free. You can send things to dcx.to/q, or you can ask them in the chat, though it'll come up with your name. And don't forget to check out our upcoming conference. Okay, so next question looks like this. I've just finished my degree in literature, and I would like to be a UX researcher. To stand out in the job market, should I learn R programming? Also, will learning about human factors make me more attractive to employers? Thank you. Okay, interesting double question. So if someone has just finished their degree in anything, it almost doesn't matter right now, and they would like to enter the field of UX research, I definitely have some broad warnings before I answer your questions about what might help you get jobs or stand out to employers. And the first broad warning is that I have never seen a worse time to work in UX in my entire life other than now. The amounts of layoffs have been off the charts. I do not see the job market being on our side. I am seeing salaries go down. I am seeing companies understand and appreciate us less. So I think that while I don't want to tell someone, no matter what you do, don't get into UX research. You have to decide that for yourself. But I do want to warn you that I'm not sure that it's a long-term viable career. I think it's got more legs than design, but I'm not sure it's a long-term viable career. You also want to take a look, even if you just go to LinkedIn or Indeed or other job boards, and take a look at entry-level UX research jobs, because if you're just out of school, it's pretty likely that you're looking for a starter job, you're looking for an internship or a junior job, and I think you'll be very surprised to find that even internships and junior jobs expect you to have years of experience. And if your degree was in literature and you do not already have 1, 2, or more years of UX research experience, it's going to feel like there are a lot of closed doors. Ana Lucia reminds us that it's hard for people with experience. So without experience, that'll be really hard. Yeah, I've got a lot of experience and I'm having trouble finding a job right now. Not that I'm representative of the whole world. Some people are having no problem finding jobs. I have other things complicating my situation, but my situation also isn't uncommon. So I would say thing one, my main suggestion for you is to reverse engineer a lot of UX jobs. Take a look at all kinds of internship, junior, associate, lower level UX jobs where you would expect to be hired. And then you have to ask yourself, do I qualify for these jobs? Whether or not you have R, whether or not you study human factors, will an employer be interested in what you offer? Now, most employers, I can't say all of them, but most employers right now expect people to have experience and have already done the work. Most employers, can't say all, are not really giving people a chance. So I think many years ago, those of us who got out of school or programs or other studies said, great, I've done some school, now I just need a chance. And we were looking for someone to give us that chance. Those doors have been closing more and more for the past X years. And so the idea of I'll just find someone to give me a chance is technically possible, but is much less likely now than it was 5 or 10 years ago. And so I just want to warn people about the assumption that there's going to be some job out there that's going to give you a chance. There might not be, because when there are tens of thousands of UX people unemployed around the world who can't find jobs, who are struggling, we can't assume that everybody's going to end up with a job. Many of us don't have a job. There are more people than jobs. KB says, I wouldn't recommend pursuing it as a career. You can still continue to learn about it and try to work it into whatever work or job you find. Yeah, what I think KB is saying is that there are a lot of great skills related to UX research and human factors that you can utilize for whatever job you go into. These will be skills you know about. These will be tasks you can do, techniques you understand, and you can bring them into other things. But to get into this as a job right now is hard, because a lot of jobs, sometimes even internships and junior jobs, will say, we expect you to have 1 or 2 years of experience. We want to see a portfolio of corporate work. We are going to interview you about how you work with a cross-functional team in an agile environment, and would you be able to answer those interview questions? And the answer is, if you don't have experience, probably not. And so just a desire to be a UX researcher is not going to get you a job. You are unlikely to stand out in a job market full of laid off people looking for work if you do not have UX research experience. Formal education is not necessarily required, and I don't think I would recommend that, because you can end up going to school for months or years, spend a lot of money, and then still not find a job. So it's not that you need formal education. I don't recommend that. But again, if a lot of companies are looking for experience and you don't have that, and you're hoping someone will give you a chance, that might not happen. So again, your homework is to go through jobs, whether you look at LinkedIn or Indeed or other boards. Take a look at how many internships and entry-level jobs you can find. A lot? Very few. Take a look at what kinds of skills they expect you to have. Take a look at how much experience they expect you to already have and how you're going to prove that. And then you'd have to ask yourself, do I qualify for these jobs? Because in my opinion, you should only apply for jobs that you qualify for. If a job says we want 1 year of experience and you have no experience, then I would not apply for that job, because they're unlikely to settle for someone with no experience when there are many people with 1 or more years of experience who are not working right now, who would gladly take that job and be better qualified. I hope that helps. Okay, we have another question. And again, these are anonymous, so I don't know if it's from the same person or a different person. It doesn't matter. It's a good question. It's one we've actually talked about before, but it's totally fine to talk about it again, because this is your time to get help. So this question says, is it okay to contact companies or design consultancies and ask if they have internships in UX research or design, even if it's not advertised on their website? So I would say that you can contact companies and ask if they have internships. You would think if they do have them, that would be on their site or an open job somewhere on a job board. You would think that it's not a secret. I think right now, given that it is an employer's market, I think it's unlikely that companies, or at least that many companies, have jobs that aren't posted somewhere. Sure, some companies haven't posted a job yet, or they're still thinking about it, or they might just want to go through some of their connections rather than posting it. Sure, those things exist. But very often when there are internships, these things are posted, especially in countries or regions or situations in which the employer gets reimbursed for what they pay the intern. In that case, you would have to have posted the job because you want to show that you publicized it, and then you want to get money from the state or the region or the country, whatever it is. So to answer the question more directly, is it okay to contact companies and ask if they have internships? You can. I guess it's okay. I will say that I've stopped responding to these emails. So you are welcome to think I'm a loser, I'm a jerk, I'm mean, I'm terrible, but I get too many of these to even respond. I used to get a few a year, and so I would respond. Now I get multiple ones a week, and it's just too much to respond. I have no open jobs on my website. People are just writing to me with their CV attached, telling me how great they are. I have no open jobs. And at this point, I'm just not even responding. So I would say if you do put that out there, just be prepared to be rejected, be prepared to be ghosted and get no response. Nobody owes you a response. And at this point, I am just not responding. Even though I think of myself as a nice person and a caring person and a friendly person, I'm just not responding to every single person. Ana Lucia says, usually when they have internships, it's known information. For example, many companies around here are known for having yearly internships for certain areas, and it's usually advertised in tech communities. Yeah, internships are generally not a secret. They are usually advertised and posted. They might be on job boards, they might be on the company's website, especially since they sometimes coincide with the academic year. So now that it's March and the academic year is coming to a close in some places, probably in April or May or June. You might see internships advertised now for the summer, or at least what here in the north is the summer. You might see internships advertised starting in August or September, but yeah, they should be out there. These are not secrets usually. So again, you can write to people and ask for that. I also get LinkedIn private messages saying, "Hi, hire me." I just can't write back to everybody anymore. It's just too much. Too many people have decided they're just going to cold email me or cold message me, and I just decided I can't reply. And I'm sorry about that. I don't love when people don't reply to me, but I also understand if I'm overwhelmed, they must be overwhelmed times 1,000 because they're putting stuff out there and getting hundreds or thousands of people, and I'm getting a handful a week. So so just know that you might not hear from them, and not to take that personally. That doesn't mean they're a bad company or bad people. It just means they're probably getting too much of these and have decided to not take the time to respond. Or you might just get a generic form email like, thanks for writing to us. Keep your eye on our careers page. Ana Lucia says, from what I've been noticing, yeah, there are internships starting in January, others in the summer, and others in September. I think those are the big reasons for internship programs. Yes, very often internships are associated with university and grad schools, and so they are usually coinciding with university semesters, as we call them here. And usually there are 3 semesters a year, at least in the north. We've got the fall starting in August or September, the spring usually starting in January, and summer often starting in June. So what can I tell you? That's the way it looks from here. So if you have a question, they are free. Please ask it in the chat or at dcx.to/Q. Q for question. And if you ask after the show is over, or for some reason I don't get your question until then, I will answer it next week. I think I'm on next week. Let's see. Yes. I'm definitely on next week. So this is an every Wednesday thing. Just remember that Italy, where I am, is going to be changing their clocks this weekend. So if you are not also changing your clocks this weekend, you might find that the times are funky. So you can always go to dcx.to, check out our calendar of events, and just double check when things are. Also in our Discord, dcx.to/Discord, which is a free community and growing and active. We have an events channel where a bot will post stuff, and I use the Discord timestamp so it always shows up in your time zone. That should help as well. But daylight savings times of years are always confusing. Any other thoughts or questions for today? Anything on anybody's mind? Anything people are curious about or concerned about that they want to share? Funky stuff. If not, we can certainly wind down. I know we don't have as many people here as usual, probably because the YouTube accidentally went up as co-working instead of Ask Me Anything. Sorry about that. That was a little mistake that I didn't notice happened. But let's take a look at our calendar. We've got next Wednesday. I'm going to try to do a co-working stream next Wednesday as well. Today I couldn't get my camera working. I finally got it working. And what else? I'm writing some new courses, so hopefully I'll have more stuff to tell people about later. But really, the most exciting thing going on right now is the conference. I hope that you, even if you're not going to the conference, tell people about it. It might be right for them, even if it's not right for you. You can find it linked from the Delta CX homepage and the navigation. It's designed to be affordable, and it's designed to be all the things y'all asked for that you said conferences weren't giving you. So please spread the word to the communities you're in, to LinkedIn, social media. I really wish somebody would post it to the Nielsen Norman Group Slack. I bet there's a lot of people there who could benefit from it. I think they have a channel where other people have been posting non-NNG events. I would love to see it posted there. All right, I guess I will wind down for today since I'm not seeing other... Oh, I was just going to play us out of here. Ana Lucia says, I'm still wondering what to do in recruiting to avoid getting emails marked as spam. It made my recruiting so much harder. I posted my screener on social media, and then I sent emails to people who are in my target audience. Most of the people I contacted didn't see my email because it was marked as spam. Yeah, that is hard to do. In some cases, you have to take a look at where you're sending it from. If you are sending it from sometimes a Gmail doesn't do as well as other emails. I've had to set up some extra things on my Google Workspace to make sure that my emails are less likely to go into spam. I think I finally got that fixed, so I think I'm going into spam less than I was before. But it's always hard, especially if you're using a personal email, because what happens is then people start saying, this is spam, F that person. And now your personal email has been compromised, and sometimes your friends start having trouble getting your emails because the system now thinks you are a spammer. So I think it's probably a good idea, where possible, to use an email address from the client or a business address, or even a temporary email. Maybe your project name is dog, and and you've got a business, dcx.com. Maybe you create dog at dcx.com, and now hopefully you have a bit of a clean slate there. And if for some reason that email is marked as spam, hopefully it won't be as bad. But I know that I wouldn't be thrilled to send too many of these things from my own domain, out of fear that people will mark it as spam and it will reflect on the Delta CX domain. KB says, I have a friend who's been a UX designer for a bunch of years. A bunch of recent grads have been asking them what to do to get their foot in the door in the industry. Unfortunately, my friend is also out of work. Yeah, I think this kind of ties back to the earlier questions we got about breaking into UX research or looking for internships. A lot of people are asking for advice, and it's okay to ask for advice, but it's certainly a little bit awkward when you're asking an experienced person or a veteran for advice, and even we're having trouble finding jobs as well. And so it's hard. How do you get your foot in the door in the industry that is closing the door even on top of your foot? And so I don't have a lot of good news here for people, hence the new book, Life After Tech, and a lot of the conversations we're having in the Discord. And the Discord has people who are staying in tech, leaving tech, working in UX, not working in UX. The Discord is designed, as I like to say, for wherever you are on your personal and work paths. Ana Lucia says, I did create an email on purpose for this recruiting. It was Gmail. Unfortunately, my emails ended up in the spam instead. Too many people don't even notice they have a spam box. I had to contact many people just to get the bare minimum. Yeah, there's, I don't have a lot of great tips there. That's just a problem. I know that my Delta CX emails were going into spam for the last 6 months, and I was asking Claude AI, like, what do I do about this? And it showed me how to set up some things at the domain level to try to fix this, and then some things at the Google Workspace level, and I think I got it improved. But it's hard with a Gmail because you don't control Gmail, and so you can't go in and set the things that I set. Gmail.com isn't your domain. So I don't know if using your own domain would have been better. You'll just want to be very careful because there are some top level domains that are generally seen as spammy. A lot of who knows what is sometimes seen as spam. So in general, a .com is better than some of these alternative something else, because sometimes those are used heavily by spammers because they feel like they're just throwaway names. And thank you for that. Let me just check if I'm missing any anonymous questions coming in. Nope. I will try running the ending music again in case we are closing out the show. But thanks to everybody who had some good questions and topics for conversation. If you want to send in any questions for next week, just send them any time of day or night to dcx.to/Q. They will come into my email. I will catch them and hold them tight and save them for the next show. And these are every Wednesday, so I will see everybody next Wednesday. Other than that, see you around the Discord, and please remember to share out the conference, which you can find linked from the dcx.com homepage. Thanks again. See you later.